I'm Nick Pomeroy with PR Equipment here in Kearns, Texas. Hey, today keeping in line with one of our core values here at PR Equipment, which is education. We wanted to shoot a video kind of showing you how to winterize your sprayer. We sell a ton of sprayers, whether it be this happens to be a Best Way or one of our ag spray units. But the truth is, this same process pretty much works for every sprayer, even large sprayers. So there's a lot you can do with this, but we want to shoot a quick little video. In the owner's manual, this is in there too, but we want to show you a video on exactly how to get this done. And so this happens to be a 300-gallon Best Way sprayer. It has a boom, same situation if you had a boomless. It's got a roller pump. It's got an 8-roller pump. Pretty common for us, so pretty basic setup. The reason why we have the boom unfolded is because when we do this winterization process, we need to make sure that we get that winterized fluid or that antifreeze all the way out to the ends. We need all the tips to be spraying this antifreeze. Don't forget the gun. A lot of folks forget the gun. We need to get this fluid through the whole system to where we don't freeze. And today it's like 80 degrees here in Texas. But we're told here on Saturday it's going to be 30. So it's time to start thinking about winterizing your sprayers. So what you're going to need here is obviously your sprayer, and you're going to need to have it hooked up. If you can plan ahead, that's the best way to do it. If you know you're done spraying for the year, and so if you know you're done spraying for the year, this is good to do before you put it up that last time. It's good to go ahead and winterize it and just be ready for it. So we didn't do that, so I hooked the sprayer up. We got her hooked up to our tractor. The PTO pump is hooked up. What we're going to need is basically 5 to 6 gallons of this RV antifreeze. You can get this stuff at Walmart. You can get it pretty much anywhere. It's like a non-toxic pink antifreeze that they use in RV septic systems. It's the non-toxic thing. It just doesn't corrode anything. It doesn't hurt your pump. So it's important to use this antifreeze. I know there's some other people that might go another way with it, but we like to use this RV antifreeze. 5 to 6 gallons usually does it. If you're further up north, you need to make sure, I guess it really doesn't matter where you're at, we need to make sure that the sprayer is completely drained before we put the antifreeze in there. It's really important up north because, if you end up with a 50-50 mix, you may still not be protected if you're up north. Down south here, we don't need a lot of protection, but we need to make sure that it doesn't freeze. Although, side note, if you don't winterize it, just remember here at PR Equipment, we sell parts. So whatever freezes and breaks, we're here to help you take care of that. But obviously we want to take care of our stuff, and this is how you do it. So I've already got 4 gallons of this RV antifreeze in, and I'm going to add 2 more. And so we're just going to add that in the tank. And so one of the nice things that it is pink, and it's very pink, and so when we're doing this winterization process and we're spraying this out everywhere, you'll see it when it changes from clear. So if you've got water in it, you'll see when it changes to pink, and that'll let you know that we're good to go. So, if I can get the cap back on. So now that we've got the RV antifreeze in, we got the pump hooked up, we're going to start the tractor and begin to circulate this solution. Guess I got to be on the tractor. So I've kicked the PTO on, and we're turning. And we can see we're building a little pressure. That means our pump is caught prime. So we're starting to build a little pressure. But before we begin to spray this anywhere, we want to make sure we get it really circulated throughout the agitation system. So we'll kick that on. And we can come in here and we can see that that's beginning to agitate through the system. You can see that the agitator down in there is putting out the now pink fluid, which is important. So once we see that has gone pink, we can shut the agitator off, and then we can make sure it goes through the regulator. And so the regulator goes through this other hose and then back up to the top of the tank. We can look in here, and once we start to see that fluid is pink, we know that is now winterized. And so then we just got to worry about winterizing everything else. I like to start with the gun to make sure we have plenty of fluid with that, and then I'll just blow the rest of it out through the boom or the boomless nozzles, depending on it. So I'll flip this valve up for the gun, and you can see where it's clear. hopefully you can see this. It's starting out clear, and it's got to get quite a bit through that hose. We've got a long way, little ways to go still. And so hopefully here pretty soon we'll start to see this. And this is what it looks like with, I think, 25 foot of hose. So you can tell that it's going to take a little while. There it's starting to get a little bit of a pink tint to it. And I'm just going to go just a little extra, but we're now getting a pink fluid coming out of there. So we know that we've now got the antifreeze out through the gun. The gun is now winterized. So that just leaves one thing, and that's to do the boom. And so I like to get a little pressure built up. We'll get her up, I don't know, about 60 psi, and we're just going to kick on all 3 sections. This is a little harder because obviously there's not as much fluid to see there, but 2 things are going to work in our favor. 1, you should start to see the pink, but 2, we know we're going to run the rest of this sprayer fluid out there, so we know by the time we run out of fluid that it's going to be pink. So this just makes sure that we get this. We're going to get this antifreeze all the way out to the ends of the tips. We're going to get all these tips, all these nozzle bodies are going to have this antifreeze in there, and it's 100% okay to leave it in there. Like I say, that's the benefit of using this non-toxic RV antifreeze. It's designed for this kind of thing. So I'm going to kick up the RPMs and just speed the process up. We're putting it at about, oh, if you saw it cut off there, that means we're out of solution. And so now we have sprayed out that antifreeze through every port. We've made sure that we've got the boom done. We've made sure that we've got the gun done. We've got the recirculation, that agitator valve, that's done, and the recirculation coming back from the pressure. Everything is now winterized. One thing I like to do, I don't care whether it's an ag spray or if it's the best way, these tanks have this vent on top, and sometimes when it rains really, really hard, you'll get rain in there. Well, the last thing we want to do is close this system up, get a couple of really hard rains in there, fill that tank back up with water, and now we're losing that winterization. So I like to pull the strainer off, and we'll just leave it off. We can put this on the shelf in the shop, we can do whatever we want, but that means any water that runs in there is going to run right out. And so that right there will prevent you from maybe a headache down the road as well. One last thing, for my guys who really like to take care of their equipment, it is a suggestion that we like to follow here at PR Equipment. You can take your pump off, take the hoses off the pump, especially if it's on a blue pump. Silver pump's not so bad, the Ni-Resist pump's not so bad, but if you've got a blue pump, we want to take care of that pump. And so we'll take the hoses off, put a little engine oil in that end port on that pump, spin it over by hand. It can be any engine oil. They actually say use used engine oil, but I'm not that cheap, so I'll use a little new engine oil. And spin it over by hand. That's going to keep that casting from doing any rusting over the winter. It's just going to keep it in really good shape. Doesn't hurt the seals or anything. So that's a great way to keep that pump maintained. And then when you're ready to go for the next season, put it all back together, put your strainer back on, and you're ready to go for the next season. So guys, if y'all have any questions, we've got a lot of videos on YouTube, but if you have any questions or something we haven't covered, shoot us a message. Let us know what that is. We're all about education here at PR Equipment, whether it's your first time spraying or you're a master sprayer. We want to be your dealer. We're here to help you. So if y'all have any questions, just shoot us out a message. You can text us now at our phone number, 903-270-0877. Feel free to call or text that number. Check us out on Facebook. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Let us know if there's anything we can do to help. And as always, if you're looking for a new tractor, hay equipment, spray equipment, zero-turn lawnmower, we're your dealer here in Central and North Texas. Thank you.